Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun in the solar system. Because of its red color, it was named after the Roman god of war. Mars was one of the oldest gods of Rome. The first observers of Mars were the ancient Egyptians. They referred to it as Horus of the horizon. Besides the Egyptians, the Greeks were also busy observing Mars. Around 300 BC, Aristotle noted that Mars was farther from the Earth than the Moon. At the end of the 16th century, Danish astronomer Tycho Brahe managed to plot the path of Mars with the greatest accuracy to date. His assistant, German astronomer Johannes Kepler, based his first two laws of planetary motion on observations of Mars. The orbit of each planet is an ellipse, with the Sun at one of its foci. The line joining a planet and the Sun covers equal areas during equal intervals of time. The planet moves faster near the Sun, and it moves more slowly at larger distances. Since 1877, when Schiaparelli announced the discovery of a network of lines on the surface of Mars, the planet has been the subject of much debate. Many believed that the network was a man-made system of canals. Subsequent observations have disproved this idea. The first space probe to visit Mars was Mariner 4 in 1965. Later, dozens of Soviet, American, European, and Japanese spacecraft, orbiters, landers, and rovers, were sent to Mars to study its surface and climate. Of these, the most successful were the Mariner and Viking programs, the Mars Global Surveyor, the Odyssey, the MRO, the Phoenix, and the Mars Express. The Pathfinder, Spirit, and Opportunity rovers have provided a great deal of information while moving along the surface. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun in the solar system, the outermost of the inner planets. It is 1.52 times as far from the Sun as the Earth. Its diameter is about half of Earth's. Its mass is only a tenth. It is a rocky planet, or terrestrial planet. The surface of the northern hemisphere features huge volcanic cones and shield-shaped volcanic mountains, while the southern hemisphere is covered with old impact craters. The craters, measuring more than 300 meters, and sometimes several hundreds of kilometers in diameter, were probably created by asteroid collisions, which is not surprising, as the asteroid belt lies near the Martian orbit. The southern hemisphere of Mars features several large circular basins, of which Hellas is the largest, with its 2,000-kilometer diameter. Its red color is due to sand and dust rich in iron oxide. The largest volcano on Mars, Olympus Mons, is a large shield volcano with a height of 25 kilometers. Valles Marineris is a canyon system lying 4,000 kilometers south of the equator, with a maximum width of several hundred kilometers and a depth of 6 kilometers. The region of polar snowcaps is particularly interesting, where hundreds of craters are filled partially or completely with frozen water ice and dry ice. Currently, there is no liquid water on the surface of Mars, but evidence shows that there has been in the past. There are topographical formations similar to dried-up riverbeds and drop-shaped debris deposits, which are typically deposited by fast-flowing rivers carrying sediment around landmarks. The atmosphere on Mars is very thin and is composed mostly of carbon dioxide, 96%, with nitrogen and argon, and traces of oxygen and water vapor. The atmospheric pressure is about 1% of the Earth's. If one were to stand on the surface of Mars, the sky would not appear blue, as on Earth in clear weather, but rather pale orange or pink. Weather conditions are harsh. The average temperature is 63 degrees below 0 centigrade. Thus, the polar regions are covered with carbon dioxide snowcaps. Martian years are roughly twice as long as Earth years. Seasons are also twice as long as on Earth, and much more extreme than here. During the winter in the southern Martian hemisphere, the polar ice cap might cover half of it, while in summer, the ice cap might completely disappear. A similar phenomenon can be observed in the northern hemisphere. The Martian magnetic field is very weak. There are two known moons, Phobos and Deimos, which are irregularly shaped and are probably captured asteroids. Both satellites were discovered by Asaph Hall in 1877. They were named after characters in ancient Greek mythology, the sons of Ares, god of war. The meaning of their names is dread, Deimos, and fear, Phobos. Completing an orbit in approximately 8 hours, Phobos orbits Mars faster than the planet itself rotates. Tidal forces are continuously reducing its orbital radius, and thus Phobos will eventually crash into the surface of Mars. Its surface features craters and grooves, suggesting a layered structure. The orbit of Deimos is slowly expanding. Its dark surface is covered with a thick layer of dust.